Τις αποδείξεις δεν τις έχετε?
Αλλά...
Αυτό μπορείτε να ζητήσετε αποζημίωση από τη βουλευτική κυβέρνηση. They said that many could have left, but they thought of their shops and they thought of, and they didn't want to leave their fortunes in their shops. And I said, but didn't they think that this the Germans would take as well, not only them, but also what they... Oh, he says, even before the Germans came, every now and then the Bulgarians came and took a few things away and gave them an official receipt. Everything was done very legally and officially.
She said you should have kept your receipts. You would have gotten reparations. He said he got reparations. He was paid 500 drachmas.
You're kidding. 500 drachmas?
Μια μέρα βγαίνει διαταγή να πάμε όλα τα χρυσαφικά στην τράπεζα.
Α, ναι, αυτό το πήγατε.
Και ο καθένας σκέφτηκε να πάμε όλα τα χρυσαφικά. Ό,τι δεν άξιζε, αλλά δεν μπορούσαμε να μην πάμε και στην Καβάλα. Ναι.
Στην Καβάλα.
Κάτι να πάμε στην τράπεζα. Ένα ρολόι, ένα παλιό δακτυλίδι. Τα καλύτερα τα κρύβαμε στο σπίτι. Και εκεί είναι άλλη μια ιστορία μετά. Λοιπόν, αυτά τα πράγματα που πήγαμε και παραδώσαμε στην τράπεζα τα πήραμε πίσω μετά τον πόλεμο.
You know, there was a, didn't you know that, maybe I have mentioned it, that Bulgarians told them to give them the jewels and the gold and what they had, and they of course were afraid to give the good things, so whatever, but also they couldn't say that they have nothing because they were known as being wealthy families. So what they did is give an old ring, an old bracelet, watch, and all that was in a Bulgarian bank in a little envelope with a name and the address, and that they received back after the war.
Really?
I have...
No, the good stuff they took back to their homes or hid everything.
Yes, and the good stuff was finished, that's all gone. But whatever was, but I have it, you know, David got his back and I have it now. There's a ring, I keep it as a souvenir. A ring from his mother, we gave his sister a watch from his mother and whatever, I mean, was left, but it was all not good stuff.
Άρχισε να φωνάζει, Χριστέ και Παναγιά. Τι με πιάσατε, γιατί με πήρατε, είσαι Εβραία, δεν είμαι Εβραία, άρχισε να κάνει το σταυρό. Μα τι φωνές τους έβαλε, την κρατήσανε 15 μέρες, Χριστέ και Παναγιά, τι με πιάσατε. Τη φέρανε μια Εβραία να την αναγνωρίσει και κάνει έτσι, δεν την ξέρω. 15 μέρες χτυπιόταν ότι δεν είναι Εβραία. Εν τέλει την αφήσανε, γυρίζει πάλι πίσω. Το δαχτυλίδι που με πήρατε πού είναι. Δείτε, τους πήραν και τους δίνουν, ανοίγουν ένα σετάρι, τους δίνουν και ένα μπριά. Καταλάβατε, πώς σώθηκε αυτή η κοπέλα, πώς σώθηκε, τι έξυπνη. Του Φάης, η Νάκη Φάης, είναι η πεθερά του ζώου μου. Ήταν μικρή τότε.
I didn't follow this, something about Larsa.
It is one of the girls who was adamant, she had a false identity card, adamant, protesting that I am not Jewish, I am not Jewish. Finally, they were convinced that she wasn't Jewish. Okay, go away. She left and then she came back, she said, yes, but you took my ring from me, please give it back. They open a drawer, they take a beautiful ring with a diamond and give it. So, not only was she saved, but she also got her ring.
This is from the Germans?
No? Yes.
Είναι για να τους πείσει ότι δεν είναι. Πού είναι το δαχτυλίδι.
Είχαμε ένα μικρό μαγαζάκι, λίγα πράγματα που είχαμε γλιτώσει.
Από την Αλεξανδρούπολη, μερικά θυμόδια, γαλλικά.
Τέλος πάντων. Όταν έγινε η οικολόγηση με την Ιταλία και Αγγλία, ανέλαβαν οι Γερμανοί τα πράγματα σκούπα. Λοιπόν, θα πάμε στην Αθήνα. Αφήνω το μαγαζί.
Ανοιχτό, με τις πόρτες ανοιχτές.
Κατά ό,τι ήθελε, όποιος ήθελε να πει μέσα.
Έμειναν όλα.
Τώρα η Θεσσαλονίκη δεν ήξερε και αυτό. Πώς δεν το ξέραν, όλοι το ξέραν.
Μα εμείς δεν σηκωθήκαμε και φύγαμε από το σπίτι μας, τα αφήσαμε όλα. Όλα, όπως ήταν η γιαγιά μου, δεν θέλησε να πάρουμε τίποτα. Τίποτα. Τα αφήσαμε όλα.
What were these two stories now? These are interesting little
No, it's just that he said that they had saved a few things from Alexandroupolis when they left. They brought them in Volos in a store. When the Germans, when Italy surrendered and the Germans took over, they left everything just as it was, left the store open and came to Athens. To say that they didn't think that those of Salonika could also have been saved if they weren't debating so much about their stores. Just leave it as it is and go. Rather have your life saved than what... I said the same thing with us. We left our home with everything. My grandmother didn't let us take a single pin out of the house. Let it as it is, because if they know that they might look for you, let it as it is, they'll think we have gone on an excursion or something. Εδώ, το σπίτι αυτό, επειδή ήταν προπολεμικό, ήταν σαν φρούριο, είχε πολύ πατώματα αυτό, το είχαμε κάνει καταφύγιο εδώ και ήρθαμε όλοι και μείναμε εδώ. Αυτό είναι δικό μας, ναι. Yes, it was a few of the houses that was equipped. That's why the whole family gathered here. There were something like, I will tell you how many people we were living here. My aunt, her husband, her daughter. David's sister and David's brother is 5. My grandmother and my grandfather and my grandfather's sister makes 8. Then my sister, myself, κάπου 13 άτομα είμαστε. Every room was a bedroom.
Is this whole building yours or is this one floor?
Now? No, we have 4 apartments. Then it was the whole building.
It was an apartment building then or a house?
It was rebuilt. It was a 2-story house. Old. The walls were as large as this. I mean, like a real fortress. Heavy ceilings. We could never get the house warm enough.
Really? I should have thought it'd keep nicely warm.
No, because you mean because of the many people living? No,
the thick
because
walls.
we had the thick walls, yes, but there wasn't heating. It was the time of the war, and it was heated by little stoves.
But normally it should have been very luxurious.
Oh, it was lovely. Yeah. We had the fireplace that was, oof, it was a very beautiful house, very beautiful. And each house had the upstairs floor, had the bedrooms and the reception rooms on one floor, the kitchen, the washroom and all that. When I say washroom, where they do the laundry room, I should say, on the other floor. So it was huge. They used to bring the food. The kitchen was downstairs, but the dining room was upstairs. They had a little inside elevator to bring.
We call it a dumbwaiter.
Well, and during the time of the war, it was cold. It couldn't be heated adequately because it was too big.
Things like that are so rare now these days.
My father was quite reluctant to build new apartment buildings instead. He always considered it was, you know, his home that he had built and he wanted to have it that way. But it could only be rented for an embassy. It couldn't be easily rented.
It was one of these lovely old neoclassic buildings.
Yes,
oh, what a pity it's gone.
Building.
Αυτά τα πατώματα είναι από το παλιό σπίτι.
Yes.
Is it?
The floors are from the old, because it was special pitch pine that my father had imported in order to build the floors.
Did you keep pictures of it at least? No pictures even?
Only
Only
with beautiful staircases, I'm telling you.
Lydia.
And the garage. Yes, but you had to be a millionaire. During the time of the persecution, we had 3 maids. So aside from feeding all that crowd, we fed also the 3 maids and a lot of our stuff.
I'll bet. During the Cyprus War, we The slopes of Pilion are smattered with villages. At night their lights twinkled all over the flanks of the mountain. Our hotel overlooks the sea. From our balcony we can see both the sea and the mountain. Very friendly hotel, comfortable enough, C-class. We went to the synagogue and found an old woman there with the numbers on her arm. We don't know what camp she was taken to, do we? Do we know what camp she was taken to?
I didn't think about it.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, she said
too hard to communicate with her.
She went with a child. With a child.
Probably Auschwitz. She has the numbers on her arm, and she had some old photographs, one of which was taken with a group of other deportees to send back to her family to say everything was well and fine and beseder.
Beseder, they were wearing some kind of...
They were wearing uniforms, paramilitary uniforms.
Youth, you know, some kind of youth thing.
Like Boy Scouts or something.
Yeah.
And there was a Chazan there who was also the Moel and also the Shochet, the kosher slaughterer.
Yeah.
He was from Corfu, came here 15 years ago. Doesn't know much about the area. The synagogue was originally built in 1870, destroyed by the Germans in 43.
45, I think.
No, it was after the war. 43 it would be. And then in 55, it was destroyed by an earthquake, rebuilt in what, 57 was it? Sometime after that.
I think you're right with this.
Yeah.
What was something in 55? What was 55?
That's where it was destroyed by an earthquake. They have pictures of the synagogue in its destruction after the Germans and as they rebuild it. They also have pictures of various civil ceremonies, Independence Day and such. One picture of all the rabbis of Greece gathered together for some kind of ceremony. We went to the graveyard, which was also defaced or destroyed by the Germans.
No, and an earthquake. All this.
And an earthquake. Yeah.
So.
It's a lovely cemetery with cypress trees and very quiet, very nice, adjacent to this Christian cemetery. Every town I've gone to, this is a politically delicate thing. Some Jews don't want to talk about the war because they're afraid for their position now. They say, I must live in Greece now. I must get along with my neighbors. I can't talk about the guerrillas. I can't talk about the resistance. I can't talk about my neighbors and what they did to me because I have to live with them. People that I know must have fought with the guerrillas, or at least, whose lives were saved by them, won't talk about it for fear of being called a communist. I'm finding that Greek Jews who have left Greece are more open and more frank and more honest in telling me the story than the ones who are still here.
This is what I was telling you, because there is another reason for this. They themselves, as I noticed it 3 years ago when I went to Milan, is that they are living in some sort of nostalgia of the past. When I went to meet these people there, they were thrilled. Oh, son, how nice for you to come to see me. And every one of them shaking hands saying, you remember when we had such a commemoration. You remember when we organized such a celebration. You remember when we went all together to such a place. See, everyone is still living in this past and is doing every effort to revive it. Here, they are doing every effort to cancel any kind of trace, any kind of
But the Greeks are erasing all memory of the Jews here, and the Jews here are cooperating.
Well, you know,
Not all.
you cannot generalize on that. You cannot generalize.
That's true. I shouldn't
You know,
have said it quite that
and
way,
this
but-
is not something which is exclusive in
To
Greece.
write very nice, please.
For everybody who followed this tragedy, Jewish tragedy in the war, during the last war, there is a complete parallelism, a complete similarity between what happened everywhere in Italy, in France, of course not England was not invaded, in Holland, in Belgium, in Greece, in Yugoslavia, in Bulgaria, in Romania. The point is this: human people have reacted according to their education, according to their, let's say, political feelings, according to their more or less courage. Because, you know, we were in a house with friends we knew from a very, very long time. The lady was the daughter of a very, very wealthy sheep owner who was living next door in a beautiful villa. We were living at Naaser. We went there because I had been warned by intelligence people that the Germans will start again trying to discover Jews everywhere. And of course they were looking after me. And one day I bought a newspaper and I saw in huge banner headlines an order by the commander of the Gestapo named Van Trop. What was his name? Van Strop in German.
Stroop.
No, here in Athens.
In Athens,
yes.
I thought so long.
Yes, and saying that order, the Jews must be denounced wherever they are. Second point, wherever we are going to find them hidden, we are going to shut them on the threshold of the door of the house where they are staying. 3, every person of whatever creed and religion or nationality who is helping them or assisting them will have the same fate than them. But this in huge headlines and by order, of course, of the occupying military command, all this in huge letters. I took this to this lady. She read it. She was mother of 2 girls. She had her husband, an engineer, mining engineer. She read it. She thought less than a split second, and then she looked at me with a smile. She said, I have you here. I am going to keep you here. I think this was a remarkable act of courage. The day in which the Germans came to make a mopping up operation in this suburb and asked all men to go to the square. They were there, Germans sitting at the table, and two masked people, certainly traitors and collaborators, who were denouncing who was one, who was another. The lady told me, "You are not going to move here. You wear your black glasses," and I was saying very well at that time. And when the officer came into the house, said, "Who is this man?" Said, "This is my brother-in-law. He's blind. We cannot take him to the square." She pinched. The girls were still in bed, and she started crying. The officer, German officer, was so moved that he left without asking him to leave. My young son, Mario, was 12, 13 at the time, was put by her in a dried well and covered with pieces of wood. And he was kept there for 3 hours. She was going every time to see if he needed anything. And I think that is a very courageous person. You don't agree?
Oh, certainly. What was her name?
The name of this lady is Madame
Eli Sanikos.
Eli Sanikos, S-A-N-I-C-C-O-S.
Is she still in Athens?
Yes, of course.
She is our best friend, like our parents.
Well, you know, after
We
my
have no
wife
parents,
lost all her family, these people have been adopted by us. You know, the little girls are still calling me Uncle Sam now, but at that time they called me Uncle Sotil, the name I had during the war, a Greek name. Therefore, I tell you, this is a case of courage, a case of, I wish to tell you that the brother of this lady, Mr. Commander Manos Vernikos, commander of the British Navy, was in charge of installing the U-boat secret bases in the Aegean Islands here.
Oh, really?
It was going and coming.
May I take it? Will you have another one?
Not right now, thank you. It was very
He was captured by the Italians and was sentenced to death. And with people of the resistance, and of course with my great friend Ebert was the chief of the police, we succeeded the very night in which the Italians signed the armistice with General Badoglio. And here, the Italians here were compelled to surrender to the Germans. There was a change of the guard at the prisons of Califea, where he was detained incommunicado, pending his execution. And we managed to bribe the warder and to let him escape. The same day he was on board of a plane, an Italian plane, flying from here, escaping the Germans, and landing at Taranto, where it landed exactly at the same moment when the Allies were disembarking, were landing there. And this man was saved. It's to tell you that this was the spirit of this family, were there under the guard and the protection of people who were really patriots and really courageous people and definitely friends. Now this is a part of the coin. The other part of the coin is how many people I know who were betrayed by their own wife. We had a friend in Salon, charming young man, Jew. He had, I think, 2 shops. Comment il s'appelait le petit qui a été donné aux Allemands par sa femme?
Ah, c'est...
Il a sauvé, je crois.
Oui, il est revenu.
Comment il s'appelle? Il est à Paris.
Inni.
Hein?
Inni.
Sam Yeni. Y-E-N-I. This young man had fallen in love for a Greek girl, but a girl what? She was a typist, I think. Without any means, he was a very wealthy boy. Fell in love with this girl. And after a short while, just a few days before the war, he married her. You know what happened? The very day in which the Germans started looking for the owners of the shops, she went to the Gestapo. She said, here he is, you can take him, but you are going to give me the shops because otherwise I have no other means to live. She sold him. This is the other part of the coin.
And what happened to her after the war?
To her after the war, she disappeared, nobody knows. He was sent to Auschwitz. Stout, I tell you, he was 25-year-old boy, very strong. He survived. He came back, but he went to settle down in Paris. I think he's living there now. He remarried and has a family now. Those are the 2 aspects of this picture, you see. One side, you see people with whom we had just friendship, who were neighbors one time. And you see what kind of protection we get. On the other side, you see the wife. People really love. I remember that we used to see them at the club. We belonged to the same club. And we were just laughing when we saw them all the day, one kissing each other.
She was in love with his money, though, apparently.
No. She thought that this was a good solution for her. You see, there were people, we were in Salonika before coming to Athens, before I started my organization. Sorry. Everybody was trying to get as much as possible what was left behind by those who disappeared. Even people fixing false documents in order to claim inheriting property which belonged to others, and this was a great shame for all the Jews altogether. But of course it was stopped in time. Some of these people managed to get enough property to sell it out, take it later and to leave. They are disappeared. I am now in Los Angeles, Mexico City.
It's amazing that Jews would go to such lengths to profit from the tragedy of their brothers.
You know, I think that is Henry Heine, the famous German German poet and writer, who said that the tragedy of the Jews in general is that they work hard